this hard, but as I said, there's one person that can come back from a 0-3 deficit, and that is Soulkey. He's done it once, he can do it again.
He's lost on the two big Zerg maps, the ones that Zergs have the most comfort on, with huge space, Whirlwind and Frost, or what a lot of Zergs choose when they're in a best-of-3 and they get to pick the map. Here now is a Protoss map, Akalon Waste. Very easy to get 4 bases for Protoss. This is gonna have to be an uphill battle for Soulkey for sure. Let's head into game 4 to see if Deer can close it out in a clean sweep.
Ladies and gentlemen, up 3-0, winner of WCS Korea. Give a cheer for Soulkey! And in the top left-hand corner, he is down. Cheer for him if you want him to come back. WCS Season 1 Korea winner, it is Soulkey!
You know, Soulkey always seems to play better when he's behind in a series. There's countless times I've seen him down 0 and X and tie it back up, X and X. For Deer, I really think it's just time to relax, cruise through with a very standard build, not take a lot of big risks. Looks like the Forge is going down blind. Oh my goodness.
What is this? What is this?
You can place a pylon here and a cannon here, and then slip your way up to the high ground. But it looks like Soulkey is heading to greet him. Shut down! Now, just because the normal cannon rush didn't get going doesn't mean that round 2 isn't going to be following up.
It's true, but there are drones already being sent here. He's going to continue on with, no, he's going to give up the cannon rush. Nexus goes down, and there's 3 drones out in the field, 4 drones out in the field, ready to defend against this probe.
Now that's a terrifying proposition for Soulkey. But the instant he spots this Forge, he's going to give himself a pat on the back. Deer made a big commitment going 13 Forge, and it did not pay off.
Spawning pool is almost finished. That should stabilize things a lot for Soulkey in his mind. Gateway goes down. Of course, the cannon will go down properly after that. But if we look, I mean, his assimilators aren't nearly as fast as we've seen in past games. Now throwing them down still before the cannon. Wow, that's a little bit risky, but he understands the timings. And we have a very passive game as we head into the early mid-game stages.
Soulkey, I mean, Deer, not going to do any safe moves at this point in time. He's going to go for as much pressure to freak Soulkey out as possible. Even though Soulkey held that off, that's a pretty significant fright to begin game 4. I almost got cannon rushed. And now that I've held it off, Deer still's getting a fast Nexus. Still's getting his usual wall off up. Cybernetics core plants, both pylons are spotted by the Overlord, so Soulkey's going to stay within sight range of them to make sure that he can see exactly what tech is coming up.
Yeah, it's a smart thing to do just to make sure you know where all pylons are in the beginning stages, because that's where all techs are out. There's normally 3 pylons, sometimes 2 pylons out on the map for you to actually look for that tech. So if you don't see any tech around there, something is up. Soulkey very smart and having his overlords very near those 2.
Soulkey also checking this far backside, making sure nothing is awry. But one Zealot pops out for Deer. A second Zealot was in production, but a quick cancel, and Deer is stockpiling a mighty large chunk of gas there.
And look at that, Soulkey instantly sees this. It's a pretty early Stargate, all in all. We've seen Deer do this before in WCS Korea. He likes to go Oracle in the beginning and then into Void Ray, try to chuck away at his opponent, and at the third base especially.
See +1 ground weapon also going up Deer. Preparing up for just a usual long-term play. And really, in my eyes, Soulkey's got to be asking himself, what's going to be my late game play? Because we've seen him do some responses, that are Roach Hydra and Swarm Host based. We've seen him try to go for the Mutalisk Corruptor play, but I mean, Deer always seems to have a solid answer.
Deer is changing up now, going for Phoenixes. And yeah, I have to really wonder about that. I mean, Soulkey has been stopped all 3 games with his switches. And I feel like Soulkey just needs to stay on one thing a little bit longer because Deer is always hitting those transition timings where it's weakest.
Yeah. Soulkey's continuing to try to apply pressure at the front. He's looking for any win here. He wants to make sure he shuts down these bases. But I mean, my God, the way that Deer answers Mutalisks is unlike anything I've ever seen. Most players stick passive. Deer spots it, throws down a couple of extra gateways, Chronos blink, and charges all the way. And just always just stilts the pressure right from the get-go.
I feel like the game plan for Soulkey would be to kind of bait that attack coming out and then just not go mutas at all. Go something like Infestors, maybe hide the Infestors, or just get a large group of Roach Hydra. Be able to overwhelm that mass Blink Stalker attack, and from there, you're going to be way, way far ahead because of the commitment Deer had to make for that. But now, I mean, it's just standard play coming out from Deer all around. Phoenixes are out in the field 4, 5th one on the way, Robotics Facility being chosen at the 8-minute mark, so he's looking like he just wants to take his 3rd base and go into macro mode, or of course he could go all in.
Soulkey is honestly hoping for that. He does not want to be up against any sort of aggression. He has thrown down a pair of spores at each base. That's a sign that Soulkey's gearing up to go for that Spire Tech, but the Queen's falling. There's a pylon up, and oh no! Soulkey does not recognize yet. He's got to begin getting those roaches out fast.
Oh, and he's going Hydralisks. Normally when you go Hydras, you do not want to be going a lot of roaches, but somehow he senses it right now.
Amazing star sense by Soulkey, spotting it. Couple of those roaches will be constructed at each base.
Oh, here it comes. 4 Zealots warped in. The other
Soulkey
4 are going to join
it.
up.
Queen's going to pop out. Soulkey's got to answer fast, but he has a very nice split on where his units are going down. First thing getting targeted, the Spore Crawlers. The drones all go on hold position to try to protect.
Oh, really a smart play coming out of our Zerg player, stopping him from getting close to that Spore Crawler. If he does, the Queen is dead. Another round of Zealots coming in here. Soulkey under a lot of pressure. Will he be able to defend? 10 roaches underway.
Soulkey's got his roaches stuck behind the drones. It's a very safe position, but there's a ton of Zealots here. 10 roaches being produced right now. The drones are slowly falling. The Queen's stuck in a corner. More Zerglings try to arrive to the scene, but +1's done. An incredible timing attack by Deer.
Oh my gosh.
More roaches getting lifted, but the energy of the Phoenixes is out.
That's right, the pylon gets taken out. Soulkey might be able to hold this off. Now Roaches against Zealots. He's going to be able to kite for days. 3rd base still not touched. And I do feel like he's going to fend this off with flying colors.
Soulkey.
Some impressive play defending that. Great crisis management, and now looking to deny the 3rd base, but look at the transition already. Deer has his first Colossus out in the field. 3rd Nexus is already down. The rocks are still being worked on, but I think he will.
Oh my gosh. He's got to be careful not to get crushed.
5. Oh no!
Oh no! With a few seconds to spare, the Roaches arrive in time to see the 3rd base down, and crisis after crisis. This is why players say that this is a Protoss-favored map. Protoss can aggress and defend without much of an issue at all. The Colossus easily able to dart between all 3 bases. Muscular augments at the Hydra Den means Soulkey is planning to do a little bit more than defend.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff. But I'm not sure if you can really do much with that muscular augments. Roach Hydra, we talk about this all the time. You need open areas to attack.
Yes.
And on this map, you just saw it. It's hard to aggress up into this 3rd base, and that's why we normally see the Muta switches. But instead, look at what we see. Hive on the way. We're looking at very fast Vipers in this game.
I don't know if Deer's going to let Soulkey do much of anything fast, other than maybe lose all his bases. Soulkey is up against the ropes.
Yeah.
Deer has been playing fantastically every single game. The proxy pylon hasn't been spotted.
Oh, goodness. and there's still no response to these Colossus. There are 2 Colossus in this army composition. Where are the Corruptors? I don't even think a Spire is being made. Only Roach Hydra, a lot of sentries, and this might be the last battle for Soulkey as Deer starts pushing on in.
Deer, does he have range on the Colossus? It looks like indeed he does. And Deer is going to take no risks in this final situation. He's carefully plotting his way forward, making sure that his reinforcements can't be denied. He's protecting the pylon. Victory is a few inches away. And Soulkey, what does he do? How can he play from here?
It's going to be tough. I love what Deer is doing, though. He's currently supply capped, but he's just waiting until he has an increased force. More surface area makes it a lot harder for you to get around into those Colossus. He has a local Colossus count, but he does want to drill. Vipers on the way. If Soulkey can hold on a little bit longer, he might be able to hold this off. But now going into the 3rd base, he has a very clear way to take out these Hydras and make a good wall of sentry force fields. What is he going to do?
What a concave from Soulkey, but the drone's Hydra stuck on the wrong side. The Colossus pull up to the high ground. Vipers are done, but Deer's angle is amazing. Oh, drones get roasted one at a time. Can he get enough for abduct? He just now has enough energy. But Soulkey has been planning the surround from moment 1. How does he abduct at the correct angle?
It's so difficult here. I mean, both sides can just be blinked upon instantly. You throw down force fields on the other side and you keep everything safe. Vipers getting in position, but just as that happens, Phoenixes get there. And here it is.
Blinding cloud! Blinding cloud! Oh no! Everything's blinded! He needs to target fire the Colossus now! Can he get them down? Soulkey's thrown everything into the blinding cloud, but the answer is no! Deer has too many gateway units. The Colossus too strong!
This is it, day 9. He's drilling in. GG! Deer will sweep the finals of WCS Season 3. An amazing display of Protoss versus Zerg of every matchup. He's come in here and swept the majority of players, and he stands tall.
A clean 4-0 sweep for Deer, running a full gamut of builds versus Protoss, Terran, and Zerg alike. Nothing seems to be able to stop Deer. He always has an answer.
He just made Soulkey look so silly in that series. I mean, I can't believe how well he did. Everybody that played against Soulkey basically got devastated. I mean, with the exception of MC, who surprised them a lot of times, Soulkey was untouched. Everybody thought this was going to be a very close series, and then Deer sweeps. How does that happen, Dana?
With that victory, Deer secured himself a spot at BlizzCon. He secured himself a first place trophy. Season 1, Season 2, won by Terran's Innovation and Bomber, but here he gets a first place trophy representing the Protoss race. Souls Deer! Having bested the top players from all regions, from all races. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause once again for the champion with a solid 4-0 performance, Souls Deer.
His rise to prominence was fast, but it is true. You cannot deny Deer. It is not some fluke. It is not some lucky set of things that happened. He just time and time proven that he's a solid player and deserves to be the best player in the world.
I mean, I cannot believe how incredible his responses were in those games, whether it was prep or prepared builds to surprise his opponent, or how he dealt with the surprises himself, especially when he was on the ropes in Game 2 with an absolutely immaculate defense. He pulled it off. I've never been more impressed with a Protoss player than I am now, and how crazy to think that Deer, at the start of WCS Season 3, had something like 25 WCS points.
Yeah.
He was not even on anyone's mind, but has catapulted himself to the top 16 ranking. He was 15th just a moment ago. Gobbled up a few more points again.
Let's find out what Deer has to say and his thoughts. as he is our winner for WCS Season 3.
Dear, what would you like to say to your fans?
팬들에게 마지막으로 한마디 해주세요.
솔직히 이렇게 우승할 줄 몰랐는데 네, 너무 감격스럽고 네, 정말 한국에서도 응원 많이 해주시고 지금 한국어 중계도 네, 해주시는 해설분들도 네, 참 고생 많으시고 네, 항상 진짜 응원해주시는 네, 지인분들 팬분들 그리고 지금 가장 감사드리는 건 지금 이 자리에 계시는 이 현지 팬분들의 환호와 응원 소리 때문에 제가 이 자리에 있고 우승도 할 수 있었던 것 같아요. 네, 정말 감사드립니다.
So I really think I didn't think I was gonna win this tournament, but I did, and I'm so overwhelmed by emotions right now. And I also like to thank all those staffs and fans and people watching this stream right now, and then I also like to thank to those Korean casters casting for Koreans, and above all, I like to thank you to you fans right here. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for your WCS Season 3 champion, Deer! Thank you so much for attending the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series Season 3 Finals. Canada, we love you. Also, a very special thank you to our sponsors, Azo, iBuyPower, Kingston HyperX, Red Bull, and Philips Arelco. Thank you so much for supporting StarCraft 2 esports, and now it is time for the Twitch After Party!